All right, here we go. Welcome back. My name is Sam. This is the Lone T Golf channel, and I'm going to start off with an apology. There was no video last week. This one is a little shorter. Last week, to start the week, had some family stuff going on, so that put me behind a little bit. And then I have since developed some pretty serious back pain, so I'm seeing a chiropractor, hopefully trying to get that fixed, but that makes anything to do with golf a little difficult because you kind of require your back for a lot of it. So we're working through that. I was able to piece together a bit of building a cool little chipping practice, I guess. So the thought process behind this was the same kind of idea as like a beer pong kind of thing, but if you could build that so you can chip towards it, just to kind of give you a little bit of practice. I thought about doing just one hole, like a cornhole style, but figured having the 6 holes would make it a little more interesting, and if I want to take it further I can with installing some sensors and stuff into it, do a microcontroller and try and get it to be pretty in depth. So I'll start running some clips here. Basically we took, I had a big sheet of plywood that I picked up from Home Depot, and then I cut it down into, I forget the exact dimensions, but I can pop those up on the screen. And then I bought these grommets off of Amazon. I'll leave the link for that in the description below. And they're basically the grommets that you run the wires through for I guess desk cable management, something like that. And the idea was we put 6 of those in a pyramid-like shape on the piece of plywood, and then that gives us our targets to aim for. I wanted to build it a box to have a little bit of a return to it. I wanted to put I got some artificial grass. I was looking at different options, but I ended up with it was a rug, I think it's called. It's an Custom Rug, I think is the company. Again, that'll be in the description below as well. Based out of Montreal. They shipped it to us, and I cut it down to size. I also looked into like the dog pee pads, the outdoor ones. There's like the replacements for it. But it wasn't the right size that I was looking for, so I figured it'd be easier just to get the big old piece of turf kind of thing. So we've got that. We cut that up, got it all fit. I glued it down with some wood glue, and then we went to the hitting mat. The hitting mat, I used some foam, like exercise foam that people do their floors in, to give it a little bit of realism, I guess. You could dig into it a little bit to kind of make it's more realistic of a shot, kind of like what they do in simulators to give you that little bit of, there's a hitting area. So we did that, and then I was going to cut off the rest of the grass, but I just left it on there because it gives me a spot that I can stand on it. My problem with a lot of hitting mats is they're fastened to the ground with like tent pegs and stuff like that, but they do, if you end up swinging decent at them, they end up ripping. So by me just standing on the turf, I know this stuff is pretty strong, so it's going to take a serious chunk to be able to do any major damage to it. Yeah, so we built the frame. I got the board underneath it, cut it to the same size, trimmed up around the edges, made it look all pretty, and then somewhere along the line, I don't know whether I just only received 5, but I was supposed to get 6 grommets, but I've either lost 1 or only got 5. I don't know. I'll have to order a replacement, but right now there's only 5 in there, so the bottom one's just a hole. So I took it and I went to visit my girlfriend's parents. They have a decent sized yard. I live in an apartment, so I don't have a ton of extra space to show you, but I did give it a shot. Can't swing super hard. Again, like my upper back is pretty shot right now, but little chips I can pull off. So I'll run some little clips of it, just kind of Okay, not really sure why the camera cut out there. But as I was saying, it's going to help us make cooler videos. We can go to the driving range and provide some super cool content. Make videos, pumping out videos a lot easier. But that is going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been a dream of mine to make this kind of channel, and I want it to be able to continue here. There's been a couple hiccups right off the bat, but I want to make sure that it's very clear that, yeah, this has been a dream of mine for a long time. I want to create a golf YouTube channel that I can grow into something that I can use to help other people enter the space. I think that's the biggest goal of everything here, is I want to create a guide on how to get yourself into the space, because I know a lot of fantastic golfers, but they won't have as much knowledge on the YouTube side of things. But if I can kind of make a guide by using the YouTube videos to show what I'm doing, but also using some short form content like TikTok or Instagram to kind of give behind the scenes looks into things. So whether that's like idea generation or working on concepts or editing or anything like that, little how-tos, that's going to kind of be the direction that I want to follow in this. Building a merch line could also be in there at some point or something like that. All of those little things that it's just like you see these big brands doing, but it's not super clear how to get into that. So that's going to be the direction that I want to take with this, but also I want to get better at golf. So there's going to be some content of me trying to get to scratch. And I think that's a very possible goal. I generally hit in the high 90s right now. And that seems like a lofty goal, but I think a lot of times I hit in the high 90s because a lot of times I think that's because of poor decision making. So my goal is to be able to make better decisions on the course, maybe take a long iron instead of a driver off the tee. So I think we can get there, and that'll be a lot of the content on YouTube that you see it surrounding to help grow. But there's going to be a lot on the outside as well. So if you're excited for that, make sure you click subscribe to show me that you are interested. Click like if you did enjoy this video. And then leave a comment down below. What kind of things would you like to see? Is there any content that you want to see maybe on the short form side or anything like that? That really helps me out. And any interaction definitely helps the channel grow. So until next time, my name is Sam. This has been Lone T Golf, and we'll see you in the next video soon. Bye-bye.